need a point.
They need a point.
I'm quickly.
They just need a single swing and a slight angle as he gets clipped just on the edge of one of the 2 frames. alamau wants to drive himself into the fight here, but he almost gets caught out with a flash. It's Levy that actually opens up Canadian elsewhere, potentially coming as a modicum or a line of support here. They are still trapped. Hyper is still buying time. Everything is exploding. Team 1 need this territory, and well, now they've found themselves losing out. Neskin's gotten the sledge to do some damage here. Finally, alamau gets the lockdown on Hyper. A valiant effort, but with the damage that him and KDS suffered from the wide swings of Hyper, it means that the next approach is going to have to be a little bit more cautious. And more cautious than that, NJR shuts the door and says hello to alamau in a way with an English shotgun. Now as Levy tries to creep his way up the stairs, takes the pre-fire fight, can't quite get the connection, and they pull back into Armory, but look at the time. 25 seconds. Team 1 know they have to try and drive themselves into the site itself at this point, and they can't quite get the catch on any of the DZ players. KDS with a hot drop almost gets the lockdown on the fight around the chassis and does. Finds a very important kill, but 10 seconds. Lagonis needs to try and get that diffuser down and in, and now it's suddenly a 3 versus 1. Pamba is all that's left. He's in the isolated shower situation. Couldn't get the swing to the right location on the single player that's on this far side. They found him though. Team 1 just pulls out the execute. If they can dig out the pressure here with the grenade from under. Doesn't quite get the full catch, but the second one sure does. They doubled it down and alamau's hopped his way in. There's the connection round to the server side. The fight up the white stairs as they flee, but they can't quite get all the holders. Neskin's able to at least battle one back, and another 2 fall either side, and suddenly Canadian is the last one left. Not for very long. The opposite side of the stairs, the potential to go for some destruction with grenades, which have already been well played and placed by them before, but it's actually KDS that loses out as Canadian suffers over the top. The canister and another grenade buys a little bit more pressure in time. They try and get closer to the swing here onto the shield, but you assume no ADS. The spray misses, and it's a lot of trains and trucks going by in the night.
And they're going to have to start dropping soon though. 30 seconds. The blue area is not under control yet. Lagonis is getting rid of one of the Surya laser gates. alamau gets the kill. The push is coming in from the freezer at the very same time. alamau picks up 3. Lagonis just runs in as well as Eclipse, the last one standing now. Needs to find 3 more. There's 16 seconds. They could go for a plant, or they could try and go for the kills as Levy, the one with the diffuser, manages to sprint past. It's Eclipse now with the SMG, but he will not last. It's alamau that
are opening as well into the swing on Walk-In. They have to see if they can keep themselves a bit mobile, and the spray actually comes through. Canadian takes the head off of alamau. Dug in on the server stack. There's 2 more bodies that are trying to find a way in for revenge. They're going to go for the split push and at least try and take a trade. The spray is there, and the attention's drawn from KDS for Neskin to get the pickup on the back, but still, it's a good change of pace for DarkZero to find themselves on that entry. It is a good the diffuser, and if he's able to pinch off Lagonis from the wall, that's a huge take. But they're going for the hop in there, and it's dropped by Pamba from the swing round. He's going to pull himself back now. Look at the time of 15 seconds. They've got to try and flood in, and it's entirely slipping through their fingers. Doesn't need the confirm because they have one more, and DarkZero. Attack timeout comes through. They get their first round.
Looking to put up the pressure here. EMP's coming in. KDS as well, starting to move up. The Banshee will give away his plan here. Neskin and him will be trying to hunt one down, and Eclipse will be found.
They comboed for the attack and the push there. They thought that they might go for the swing as soon as the Banshee started screaming, but at the same time, Eclipse did the right decision and tried to focus on a firefight. Lost the one, and Pamba's going to have to drop back before the pressure gets too hot. Hyper at least stems the flow and is able to find one of their own. But now,
one player in security there, a crucial player. I believe it's Pambazoo that is in sight there. Yes, he is. There's going to be some pressure here. He gets caught, and that means there is now an opening. alamau also will be able to find one as NGR tries to rotate back towards the kitchen because DarkZero well aware of what's currently happening, but the kills just keep flowing in here for Team 1. It's only up to Hyper now, and he gets shut down as one takes the site.
To the team, DarkZero is reimagining themselves. They're stacked up for the hold, but suddenly alamau's down at the bottom of the stairs, and down much further as Pamba gets the first. KDS battles back, gets the revenge. He's able to take a little bit more pressure inside the freezer, but as they're slowed down, it's Levy. Gets one, gets dropped, gets swung, and suddenly everything's popping off. 30 seconds and a 3 versus nobody. And Team 1, another 5-pronged execute that just is the danger. It's not just the player around the freezer, but it's Levy who's dancing between the angle towards Canadian on one side, and then the 2 players that are pushing inside on the freezer on the other. Hyper's able to stack up with Canadian, but he goes down right in front of the man as as Eclipse is trying to make moves on the far side, has to pick up sticks because Pamba's suffered just on the shoulder too. Levy finds himself a double, 15 seconds, finds us ticking closer and closer. It's all locked off, and now it's Team One, 6-1. It may be over for Dark.
6, considering time is always in the favor of the defenders.
Well, there's a very wide run, and
no way!
shouldn't win that, but he does. Okay, it was a spread fire between KDS, who decided to go for an adventure with a C4 in hand on the prowl. That default is going to be exceptionally dangerous, so they might try and deep dive it towards the close trophy wall. Hey, there's a C4, and there's Hyper catching on his head. Canadian somehow survives, and they at least finish off KDS from earlier on in the meantime, but now that's a huge bout of pressure as they find themselves still on the downtick on the body balance. A rotation round from Alamal to throw another smoke towards the entrance means that Eclipse cannot quite get it clean, but does take Lagonis. Will the firefight, 15 seconds. Alamau for a bit of revenge here. He is trying to take bodies. Neskin puts them into the 2 versus 1, and Team One put themselves, I believe, onto the grand play.